Can you remind our viewers why the church's canon law matters so much?
Well, this is, as you put it, it's in-house legal system. It's the laws that determine the functioning of people who work at the Vatican. That means priests, it means nuns, it also means people who may work within religious organizations. And so it's important simply because, in particular, on the issue of sexual abuse, because in the past, it was often felt that these laws were not specific enough and not clear enough in terms of the language. And in fact, the Pope specifically says that this time round, he's hoping that with these very specific language that's written there, there's no room for interpretation, particularly in terms of punishments that can be meted out to those involved in abuse cases and those that were involved in so-called covering up those cases, bishops that were not that did not do enough to investigate cases that were brought to them, as well as sanctioning those that were found guilty. And so too much was open to interpretation by those in charge. And so the hope is that with specific language now targeting the issue of sexual abuse by clerics as well as lay people who are working within the church, it's hoped that it will be clearer and those that are responsible can be sanctioned for their actions.
And what are the reactions?
Well, what we're hearing for the moment is that the hope is, I mean, it's what everyone's been calling for in terms of clearer language. Now, we know that Pope Francis has talked about bishops taking responsibility, needing to do what's necessary, and them being sanctioned if they don't do enough, especially after that 2019 summit looking at clerical sex abuse. So the hope is that this actually addresses some of that. Now, one of the other issues that has caught some concern, because it's not just about sexual abuse, it's also about issues like the ordination of women, as well as economic, financial scandals and financial crimes that have taken place at the Vatican. On the issue of the ordination of women in particular, in the past, it was kind of understood that women are not supposed to be ordained as priests. In fact, it's written in the old code that it's only for baptized men. But now it says that if you ordinate a woman or make her a priest, you are excommunicated from the church, and the woman herself is also excommunicated. So a very strong punishment for those involved in that action. And we've had reaction from the Women's Ordination Conference that looks at this issue and is trying to promote the ordination of women. And they believe it's not surprising, but yet another painful reminder about the patriarchy within the Catholic Church. On the issue of abuse, though, we've still yet to hear from survivors of sexual abuse or the groups representing them. But for a large part, I think this is what they were calling for, a codification of the laws that will help tackle this issue.
Seema Gupta.